Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Tier 1 Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And, we always like to get our updates, especially when we find out information. The best way to do that is through Troop C. Glad to do it with Russ Brennan. Russ, thanks for joining us once again.
Yep, thanks for having me back on.
Absolutely. So, Troop, I know we kind of made it through Mardi Gras. It didn't have a whole lot of incidents through there. But here we have this MVA today and took someone's life.
So, unfortunately, I'm back on for the second time this week. We had that crash with a pedestrian down in Berger the other day. And today we had a fatal crash involving I guess, kind of a pedestrian in Gibson area.
Okay.
So it was kind of a few sequences of events, but it happened around 5:30 this morning on US 90 East near Gibson.
Okay.
Preliminary investigation revealed that there was a truck and trailer that was traveling eastbound on 90 that lost a load of cables in the roadway. Shortly after the load was lost, there was two vehicles that traveled through that same area that ended up striking that object in the roadway, becoming disabled in the roadway. Once that second incident happened, there was another vehicle that came through. They already had people that were kind of out of their vehicles from that initial crash that occurred. The other vehicle that came through swerved, missed the vehicles that were in the roadway, but unfortunately swerved towards where some bystanders were standing and struck two of them. One of them was severely injured, and the other one ultimately succumbed to their injuries from that collision. It resulted in the road being closed for about 5 hours this morning. I know we had some traffic issues, but we were able to kind of funnel people traveling eastbound towards LA 20 through Gibson to get back on. But it really is an unfortunate incident in this case, all these different things happening.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things where we can't always control, we want to do our best opportunity, right, to prevent when we load things down. It's another one of those reminders to everyone. If you're loading something on a trailer, please do everything you can to secure it. And sometimes our roads being, as bumpy as they are, sometimes we sometimes things get loosened. It's kind of like
most definitely
air flight, things get moved around in the above you. But just one of those things where things can become dislodged, and these cables ultimately caused a wreck and then a second wreck and then injured two people.
No, definitely. Especially this morning, 5:30. I mean, you have low light conditions, especially out there on Highway 90. There's no street lights out there. So,
right.
I think it's a good testament, as you said. Make sure that you are securing your loads properly. As you said, also, as you travel down the roadway, things can become dislodged, so straps can become loosened. So I always, when I'm hauling a load on a trailer, I pull over after a few miles, get out, recheck for tightness, maybe tighten them up if they need it. And also, I think it's just good that if you are involved in an incident where you're in a collision and your vehicle is disabled in the roadway, it might be best to try to get away from that road as far as you can. That way, especially in this case here, where it was kind of hard to prevent another one from happening, that way you're kind of out of that danger zone that could potentially happen if a car was to travel through that scene as well.
Yeah, and so we have to start thinking, safety conscious thereafter, right? Am I in the right place? And again, we're just trying to get out of our vehicle after this crash, and we got to, again, we need to kind of reset our mindset, if you will. Okay, we got to think about the fact that other cars may be coming through here.
Correct.
With that. And so, again, a very unfortunate incident.
Yeah. And look, and even state law, if you're able, let's say you get a little minor fender bender, if you're able to move those vehicles from the roadway, that is state law that you're supposed to do that. I know there's some scenes that we showed up to where, traffic is backed up for miles, congestion. When you get up there, the vehicles are they have damage, but they're drivable. So one, it eliminates potential further crashes from happening from congestion, but that also keeps you safe because you're not in that roadway. Again, in this situation here, it's just really unfortunate things that took place. But if you can get to that safe area, whether it's on the shoulder or a parking lot, or try to go stand a far away distance, that way, if another car was to come through the scene, they wouldn't collide with you. Maybe just trying to do those different things to help keep everybody safe.
Right. And if there's another vehicle that you're pulled over, someone be far enough back with some hazard lights on to let others be aware that there's, potentially something in the roadway or some people on the side of the road. And again, we know that there's not a lot of room on the roadway there. There's not a lot of lights, and it was very early this morning.
Yeah, maybe, as you said, flashers, or maybe even flash your headlights, or even a flashlight in your car, wave it around, just something maybe to try to get the attention of other people. Another thing, too, if you do come across a hazardous situation on the roadway, you can always, one, dial 911, but two, you can dial star LSP, star 577, and that'll get in touch with the nearest troop location for you to be able to report that roadway hazard. But again, in some of these situations here, it might be a little bit before we're able to respond, especially those more rural areas. So just try to keep everybody safe by getting out from that scene area if best that you can, or trying to alert the other people that might be showing, or different things like that.
Right. Now, in this kind of case, and I'm just thinking down the road, the loss of life, and there wouldn't be a vehicular homicide charge from an accident, would there?
Well, vehicular homicide. First off, that vehicular homicide is only whenever a driver is impaired.
Impaired. Okay, I thought that was the case.
Correct. Now there's negligent homicide, but for that charge to be applied, it has to be that the driver was operating the vehicle with gross negligence, that they knew that they were going to injure somebody else.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
there's some situations where people might only get a citation for, let's say, running a red light or speeding or whatever
Right.
it might be, and maybe not negligent homicide because they didn't realize their actions were going to cause somebody to lose their life.
Right.
And so again, it's case by case investigation thing, and this investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah, this is
We
brand new, right?
Yeah, this is the first hearing. We hadn't even had a release out yet.
Right.
We're still waiting for notification of the family, so that's why no names are being said right now.
Right.
Just kind of let the public know what happened, especially with the traffic delays this morning. Kind of letting people kind of get a little head start on the news.
For awareness. And again, I only ask that question
Yeah.
because I think it's very important that we think about the fact that these kinds of accidents can happen.
Yeah.
And they're truly that, an accident. They were not with an intent or ill intent. And so it's one of those things. But Trooper, we always appreciate you coming on. I know how hard y'all are working, educating the public, keeping the public safe, and how much time and energy y'all spend doing that. So Trooper, we appreciate your time.
No problem, anytime.
All right. And that's an update from us. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou Time will continue right here on HTV.